Hey everyone, Cruiser here. A while ago, Brony Buck did an episode of Brony Debates about Death of the Author, and he wanted me to be on it because I actually have some thoughts on it, but sadly, I had to work. Well, now I figured it's the time to actually give everyone my thoughts on it. And I don't like it. I really don't. Now, that being said, I will say I have lightened my stances on it ever since talking with Silverquill about the subject. And I can see how it might be beneficial or even fun for people, and I'm not going to take away anyone's fun. My biggest problem is when people take the interpretation as gospel, as if to say, yes, this is what it's actually about, there is no question about it, and people don't even consider talking to the author themselves about it. So I want to give a couple of examples of how Death of the Author has been misused, and frankly, what happened because of it. Now, both examples can be found in the movie Metal: A Headbanger's Journey. The first one was actually in the special features, but I could not actually find the clip on YouTube, so if you want to get the movie yourself and see what I'm talking about, you'll know where I got my reference from. So the first one involves the rock star Alice Cooper. Now, Alice Cooper flat out hates politics. He doesn't think they should be within music, he wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole, and he refuses to sing about them. And then here comes pro-socialist guitarist Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, who says, it's funny that he says that because he does sing about politics, because his song, School's Out, had a political impact on me. So he does sing about politics, even though the guy said he doesn't. Now, I had the pleasure of meeting Alice Cooper a few years ago, and I asked him about that, and he said, and I'm quoting here, I let him have his fun with that, but that's not what the song is about. I wrote that when someone asked me, what do you think is the most important 3 minutes of a child's life? And his answer? Waiting for school to end for summer. So now, we have this other rock star who's using a song that he did not write to promote his political agenda. He didn't write the song, how would he know what it's about? We just heard the author say he refuses to sing about politics, and now he's using it to promote his political agenda. This shows a complete disrespect to the author. Now, this next one was also featured in the documentary, and this time I was able to find the interview on YouTube. But before we begin, a little bit of context. Back in 1984, there was a band called Twisted Sister, fronted by the man Dee Snider, and there was also a parent group called the PMRC, or the Parent Music Resource Center. And one of its members was Tipper Gore, the then wife of future Vice President Al Gore. And now that you know that, I'll let him tell the rest of the story.
1984 was a pretty insane time for Twisted Sister. We were hearing bits and pieces about this Parents Music Resource Center and Tipper Gore, but not really registering because we were getting protests and religious groups at every show. So just another parent group that, was putting Twisted Sister on a list of targets.
We have always talked about the positive aspects of the music industry, but of course the highlight has been on the excesses that have been allowed to develop as we have tried to focus our concern on those excesses.
Somebody approached our office that the Senate committee is having a hearing on censorship with the PMRC and wanted to know if I would come and speak.
Now let that sink in a little bit here. We're not talking about some local government, we're not talking about state government, we are talking about the federal government, the one that looks over this entire country. He was asked to come in to defend his music.
Since I seem to be the only person addressing this committee today who has been a direct target of accusations from the presumably responsible PMRC, I would like to use this occasion to speak on a more personal note and show just how unfair the whole concept of lyrical interpretation and judgment can be, and how many times this can amount to little more than character assassination.
They were saying that Under the Blade was about sadomasochism and bondage.
Now let's go ahead and take a look at some of these lyrics. Ew. This is pretty gross. So what did Dee have to say about it?
It was about my guitar player's throat operation.
Huh. Let's look at these lyrics again. Suddenly, this is a lot less creepy. Now, is there any mention of a hospital in the song? No, there isn't. And Dee was asked about that.
It's not really a wild leap of the imagination to jump to the conclusion that that's about something other than surgery or hospitals, neither of which are mentioned in the song.
No, it's not a wild jump, and I think what I said in one part was that songs allow a person to put their own imagination, experiences, and dreams into the lyrics. People can interpret it many ways. Ms. Gore was looking for sadomasochism and bondage, and she found it. Someone looking for surgical references would have found it as well.
Then he said this.
I said, you know, I can't help that Tipper Gore's got a dirty mind.
Okay. All right. As great as a burn as that is, listen to what he said there. I can't help it if she has a dirty mind. My point is, sometimes it's not the author. Sometimes it's you, the person who came up with this bad interpretation and doesn't want to admit that perhaps maybe he's had some bad thoughts. And all these people had to do was just ask. If you really want to know the truth behind a particular story or why a character did what they did in a particular episode, then you know what? Ask the writers, ask the directors, ask the producers. They are the ones who can tell you why an episode went down the way it did. And especially now the show's over, I'm pretty sure they're willing to tell you almost anything. A vast majority of them are on social media, and they all appear at these conventions, so just ask them. Don't look to your favorite YouTubers. We are no better than you. The only thing we can do is just speculate. So what did you think of this video? Maybe I'll do some more like this, and if you liked it, or if you didn't, please let me know in the comments. Until then, this is the Concert Cruiser, saying never give up the fight for true audio artistry.